Hi everybody. We're up here at Leslie's house. We just finished doing the radio show, and we decided to come up here to Leslie's to do a little segment on question and answers. You guys have written some questions into the blog. We're happy to answer them. We decided to do them here since we're here anyway, so we'll see you inside. Well, hello everybody. We are here. We're at Leslie's house today in the backyard, and we're gonna sit here and answer some questions from the Facebook, from the fans on the Facebook. And we sure appreciate you writing in. It's really fun to answer these questions. I'm going to let Leslie ask me these questions, and then I'm going to attempt to answer them.
So we have a question from John. He asked if you would discuss your individual albums, some that were written in the minor key country songs that have a haunting rock edge to them, like Black Coffee and Everybody Makes Mistakes.
You know, John, you really understand me. I absolutely was born to sing in a minor key. I love to sing in a minor key. I like to write songs in a minor key. In fact, I have a bad habit of doing so. I started out with songs like Everybody Makes Mistakes, but on my last Wild Place anthology CD, there are a lot of minor key songs, one of which is called The Wanderers. If you haven't heard that one, I think you'd like it very much. There's also a song called Listen to the Wind, and it's the first song on the last Wild Place anthology CD, which you can get on Amazon or CD Baby, or you can write to me and get it. I think you'd really like that album because it kind of centers around that sort of thing. I tend to write that way. I like the way my voice sounds in minor keys, and I appreciate that you noticed it. Thanks for writing.
We have another question from Carrie, who wants to know what is it that you're teaching at the prison?
That's a good question. Carrie, I am pleased to be teaching at High Desert State Prison up in Susanville, California. I'm teaching level 4 inmates, most of whom have been there 10, 20 years, and most of whom have life sentences. Some of the bad guys will be able to get out now that the prisons are so crowded. They're trying to find ways to rehabilitate people, and one of the ways that we do that is with arts and corrections. I had a very, very good teacher, a songwriter named Fred Kohler, and he and Shel Silverstein, who was a very amazing writer and hit songwriter as well as a writer of literature, came and stayed at my house for 2 weeks one time, and they did this crash course in songwriting because everything anybody said became a song. And I learned how to identify what we call a hook and how to teach people how to write around a hook, which is often the title or the part of the song that you remember most, like "Rollin', rollin', rollin' on the river" would be the hook of that song. And so we teach people to identify the hook, how to put it in the song as many times as possible, and really just how to write songs, how to get everybody started. And I think having done this is my 3rd year, I'm beginning to think that songwriting is kind of inherent in people. You just kind of have to help them bring it out. Thank you for asking.
And then last, Jeff asked if you have any road stories that you could share about your career. I think about some of the ones like when you talk about Survivor and you talk about The Heart. Those are good stories.
Well, they are good stories, and the funniest stories I can't tell you. That's the sad part of it. At least not unless we're having a drink somewhere or having dinner someplace sometime personally and there's not a camera on. But I had a wonderful story. I happened to be on tour in the 80s with some of my great heroes. I was with Bobby Bare and Hoyt Axton and, of course, Johnny Cash, the Man in Black, and my favorite songwriter in all the world, Chris Christopherson. And at that time, and all the time that I was ever with record companies, I was always fighting with them. I was always just trying to be who I was. That's the funny thing about record companies. They sign you because they like what you do, and then they want you to sound exactly like whoever's making a lot of money right then. And I was really unhappy with my record company because they were trying to get me to sing songs about divorce, and all that kind of stuff, which I don't even care about. But it's not that I don't care about it. I just don't want to glorify divorce. It's not something it's a sad thing to me. But anyway, I was fighting with my record company, and I had a really bad attitude. And I really needed an attitude adjustment. And we were doing these huge festivals, 100,000 people. We were really doing some big things over there. But in between times, we would find these pickup dates in little smoky bars and little tiny places. And Chris Christopherson and his band were playing, and I believe it was in Berlin. I could be wrong. It's been a long time ago. In this little smoky bar. And I walked into that bar, and I heard a song that changed my life. Here it is. We'll play it for you now. It's called The Heart.
My daddy was a charmer, boys. He had a lot of style. He was the shining best at everything he did. They said that he could lighten up a room with just a smile. And I was proud as hell to be his kid.
If this song does to anybody out there watching what it did to me that night, changed my attitude around 180 degrees, then I will have done my job on this YouTube today. Thank you for asking. Thanks so much for writing in. I've really enjoyed hearing your questions. And if you have more questions, we're going to do this little Q&A thing about once a week, and we'll put up a notice for it. So if you're interested and if there are things you want to know, I'm happy to answer anything. I really don't have I think I only have one secret, only one. So you can ask me just about anything and just post it. We'll do the best we can to find an answer for you. Thanks for watching. Hey, Leslie. Hey, I want to thank you for doing the Q&A with us today. Thank you to Robert, who you cannot see, but he is actually holding that camera, the man behind the screen. Thank you so much for letting us use your house and doing the Q&A, and thank you guys for watching the Q&A, and please do tune in. We're going to end for today because you don't want to come to the bank and the vitamin store with me. I know that is probably something you do on your own, and you don't need to follow me around for that. But we'll see you next time. What's his name?
Richard Volpe.
I like him.
Yeah.
I really like that cat. That cat's eyes, it just looks like a cat.
Yeah, he's a Southern California beach guy. He's always had stuff out in Laguna Beach and at the Sawdust Festival and stuff like that. He was very popular down in that area.